What are you doing? Commander Trainer.
Is it? It's not...
Simon.
Simon. Good God, boy, what are you doing here?
Well, I came through the time barrier.
But I thought I forbade that.
What?
That day in my office, a long time ago. I told you it was all pointless, that you should stay in the present.
How do you remember that?
Oh, you're still asking foolish questions.
No, it's just that, well, sometimes in these projections, people don't seem to remember. I'm not too sure whether Controller 2957 does. Well, it was room 209 he took me into. His office, he said, but...
2957. So you've met your future self.
Yes. Commander, you all right?
Don't stay here, Simon. Go back.
Why? What's happened to you? You're so changed.
Well, I suppose you could say that things haven't been altogether normal for me lately. They haven't been permitted to be normal. But a man must fight back, Simon. Always fight back! I'm getting old. Old. I'm very tired. Simon, I want you to give me your solemn word of honor that you won't tell anybody that you've seen me here today.
Well, I hardly know anyone.
Your future self, Controller 2957. Your word especially that you won't tell him.
Why?
Will you promise? I wouldn't ask you if it weren't for a very special reason. You'll have to trust me. The way you used to.
All right.
All this. I created all this, you know. A Ministry of Forward Development.
Yes, wait a bit. That day in your office, you
Yes, exactly. The moment in time when the foundations were first laid. In the years since then, I've built vigorously and I built well. Today, I'm not even supposed to be a part of it all. I've fallen from grace, Simon. I suppose you could say I'm a misfit. Not a word. This hasn't happened. Remember.
So that's the tape. That's the instructional tape relating to the production of synthetic rubber for the sea curtain.
Yes, Controller. I thought I'd better look it out. If you'd care to scan it.
No. If you say there's no positive order on it of mine to begin manufacture, I suppose that'll have to be good enough for me. But it's extraordinary. 17. Surely you remember my issuing that directive last Thursday.
As you were, Controller.
What?
16 here, 17 there.
Come now,
Oh.
16. Are you completely sure of that?
No memory for faces. Wonderful at figure, 17.
Reliable, 16.
Yes. Well, I made a natural mistake. I apologize. We'd better have the Atlantic progress map, Alpha 4.
Very good, Controller.
And that's the current situation?
Yes.
Well, the Americans are well ahead, as you say. They must have laid 1,000 miles of curtain.
1,082.
Now you tell me we haven't even completed laying the cable for our section of curtain.
No, it seems not.
For goodness sake, for I tell you I had a completion signal on it.
I'm not saying you didn't, Controller, but there's no record. I've sent for the relevant tape, naturally.
This is a serious matter. Water is still being pumped into the southern Atlantic at the rate of billions of gallons a day. If that curtain isn't ready to hold the excess by the time the general level rises down there, we'll get it all back in tidal waves.
Precisely, Controller.
Then we better buck our ideas up, hadn't we? We seem to be losing our efficiency in this sector.
Controller.
I'm in earnest, 16.
Careful now.
What?
17 here, 16 there.
But what the devil does that matter? I'm talking seriously. The melting of the polar ice caps has created grave danger of flooding in all the lowlands of Europe. The master plan tells us what to do about that. The master plan has clearly foreseen that we should...
Oh, I'm awfully sorry. I only came back because...
Oh, Simon, no. That's all right. We'll complete our tour. Study the whole question, Alpha 4, and have a report on my desk by noon.
Just as you say, Controller.
We seem to have upset our esteemed controller.
And yet it must have been his mistake about not getting started on the synthetic rubber manufacture. Perhaps he's tired.
Well, he did mix us up, 17.
Yes. Now, why on earth should he have done that?
We're quite distinct.
Oh, different as can be. Especially since you gave up wearing those calf-length boots, which never completely suited you, 16.
Yeah, 17.
It may be a little more than his just being tired, I'm afraid. I've looked this tape over fairly carefully. At a certain point, I find it's been edited. Edited.
No, Rosie, stop! Not like that. Do you want to kill them? Not like this. To help them grow. Favor will in this heat.
Now, today we're going to talk about poultry. Beth wants you new ones to learn as much as you can, because someday we hope to have more than a pair of chickens. Now, to begin at the beginning, this is an egg. E-G-G, egg. Now, if most of you haven't seen one before, it's because before you became misfits, you were fed on Formula 6, vitamin plus albumin substitute instead. The technocracy invented that to replace eggs, a scientific breakthrough.
Yes, Arthur. Well, I suppose that's all right. But do you have to hang around the city so much? Polluted atmosphere? Any technocrats to talk to? Jenny, for a girl of your age, you've got an awful lot of thumbs, you know. You want to dominate it. Show it who's boss. Like this. Keep going. That's it. Oh! There.
What on earth's that?
Well, it's so hot, I was trying to remember the last place we're in, the icebox. But I'm no good at painting.
Well, of course you are. Who told you that?
I never was at school.
That's a technocratic fallacy. As a matter of fact, you were brilliant. It's just your teachers didn't know how to encourage your talents.
Is that the truth?
Go on, Liz, be abandoned. Have fun. Let it flow.
Beth,
Yes?
how did I mean, what was it that made you turn round and start this community?
The community? Oh, that was a question of noblesse oblige, really.
I don't understand.
Well, you see, Liz, at a particular time in your life, I decided that education was a charade. It only existed to make more technocrats. So I thought how good it would be to get away somewhere with a few unspoilt youngsters and bring them up to be themselves.
But wasn't it awfully dangerous, having to go against the law and that?
What, throwing in my lot with the misfits, you mean?
Yes.
Well, if I'd been alone in the way I felt, then I might have thought twice about it. But I wasn't. And I'm not now. There are communities like this all over England. In France and Germany, too, by all accounts. So there's hope. There. What do you think of that so far?
Yes. Yes, I rather like it.
What on earth's that?
Well, there you are, Simon. I won't come any further. The hovercraft can be seen out there, and I still can't risk being found with Beth.
Yes, well, thanks a lot. I found out a lot today. There was just one thing, though.
Yes?
Commander Trainer.
Don't mention that name, I said.
Back there, but it's all right here, isn't it? Now, look. Trainer founded the Ministry of Forward Development, right?
Yes.
Well, what happened? What went wrong? How come he can't be talked about if he's really the big boss?
Something happened where Trainer was concerned. Something unfortunate. All right, Simon. You knew him? Trainer betrayed us. That's the truth of it. He sold out on the technocracy. Well, it's true. I happened to be his personal assistant at the time, so I know. Trainer brought disgrace on his own ministry. He tampered with the master plan. He got away before we could deal with him properly, mind you. So society still has a score to settle with him, as it may yet have with poor Beth. Yes. Poor Beth.
Back from the citadels of progress. Well, I only hope Simon's a little wiser about the kind of time server he's going to be someday.
Oh, but he doesn't have to be Controller 2957, you know. Honestly, he doesn't.
Oh, doesn't he just? Well, you know a lot more about the time barrier business than I do these days. All I can say to you is you'd be wiser not to be me, if you have the option.
Well, why do you say that?
Well, let's face it, you wouldn't want to be me.
Oh, I would. You've done some wonderful things here.
No, only drawn a bow at a venture and made some classic mistakes. Not least of all where my childhood friend Simon is concerned. Oh, yes. Now, there's a thing, Liz. A few years ago, Controller 2957 and I were engaged to be married.
Married? Me and... I mean, you and... Hey, now, wait a minute. You can't just say something like that and turn around and walk away.
What more do you want me to say?
Why were you and Beth engaged to be married?
Why?
Yes.
The usual reasons. But in the event, we discovered that we were incompatible.
Incompatible? God!
That takes a load off your mind, eh? But we weren't just plain incompatible. We were demonstrated to be incompatible.
I don't understand what that means.
By the central computer.
Well, for God's sake, couldn't you find out for yourself?
Not allowed to. 2957's brilliant idea so that neither of us made a nasty mistake. Our statistics were taken and fed into the wondrous machine. 2957 came out with an A for everything. Intelligence, ability to adjust, emotional security.
And you?
Well, I got...
A D minus.
A D minus?
Yes. A lucky escape, Simon. Mind you, I'll always like and respect Beth.
Naturally.
Marriage is more than tea and sympathy.
Yes.
Science saved us from a terrible mistake.
A D minus, though. Hey, now, wait a minute. If Beth is Liz, then a D minus makes Liz...
A moron! An idiot! Practically a screaming nitwit!
That's right, thick as a log and twice as wooden. I say it's lucky we got our own teeth, isn't it?
But I think that's awful. It's the worst thing I've ever heard.
No, Liz, it's progress.
But even to go and do it, I mean, to go to a computer and... Oh, it's like 2957. That's Simon.
Poor Beth. Poor Liz.
An old friend with a rating like that, running a secret community outside the law.
Yes, I can see what you mean.
I'll kill him. I'll murder him.
Be my guest.
tell you it's hotter, brighter.
Oh, it can't be brighter.
We'd better get on. All right, kids. Foraging now. Let's go. Hurry up. Come on, quickly. Ooh, get your baskets. No arguments. Forward.
We'll go together, shall we, Liz?
What?
I said we'll go together.
Now, why are you suggesting that, I wonder? Because you think I need help?
I didn't say so.
No, but a poor old D- could hardly be expected to pull up a few roots without help from a winning A+, could she?
D-, how did you find out about that?
A little bird told me, and I was pretty sure your wonderful controller 2957 wouldn't let you go without passing on the same information to you.
Well, it's nothing to do with me.
It might be one day.
No.
How can I be sure?
Let's go.
That kind of thing's you all over, Simon. But if I'm a D-, then I'm happy to be a D-. I don't need your kind of grading. I bet it must be awful stuck up there with the snubby old A+.
That's the way, Liz. You don't want to take any part of it too seriously. I don't go much on these computer classifications myself. It's all just to make people worried, I say.
Does everybody have to have a computer test or something?
No, not everybody. Only they tried matching me once at school with a boy.
To be married?
Oh, don't be silly. They were just trying to pair off boys and girls to work together on a special course. You know the kind of thing. But then population redevelopment caught up with us, and I got declared a misfit anyway.
But what rating did you get?
Oh, just B+.
B+? Well, that's great. That's wonderful compared with it. Oh, look, I'm sorry, Liz. I didn't mean that...
What's the matter with her? Paul's right. It's maybe 10 degrees hotter than it was yesterday.
Oh, the others aren't back yet.
Oh, they must have gone the other way from us. Oh, so lovely. Oh.
What are you doing?
Well, I felt chilly. Naturally lit a fire. What does it look as if I'm doing? Trying to save our food stores before the heat destroys it completely. Boiling up preserves.
Why is it getting so much hotter?
It's all in the mind. I say, did you see those dancing lights a few minutes ago?
What dancing lights?
Well, they weren't in the mind anyway.
And yesterday, that queer thunder. Oh, it's funny all the different changes there are in these times.
Kills me every time I think of it.
And not just things to do with the cloning program either. There are other new developments, like clones.
Clones? Now, how on earth did clones creep into the conversation?
Oh, I just heard something about them the other day, that's all.
Well, you needn't mention clones to me. As far as I'm concerned, they're the dead end. Soon we won't need to bear children anymore, or even be born. The technocracy will just print us off from our previous selves. Providing we're the right sort of previous selves, of course. Alphas down to deltas.
Deltas, the hunters, you mean? I didn't know they were clones.
Oh, yes. Anyone who's served the technocracy and asked no questions is a good subject for cloning. Perfect civil servants or thick-headed slaughterers. It makes no odds. This is really a killingly funny time we live in.
Does Controller 2957 go along with something like the cloning program?
Well, fortunately, I'm not 2957's keeper.
But he likes you, Beth. Really, he does. Respects you.
Shall I send him an old glove to wear pressed against his heart?
Look, he takes awful chances trying to help you, even if you don't want him to. Well, he didn't really mean anything about that computer test business. Yes, he told me. It was just that, well, at the time, he wanted to make sure that, well, that you were properly matched.
And we weren't. Like you and Liz.
That's not the same thing.
Liz thinks it is.
Anyone with half a brain could see it isn't. This is a fathead.
That's right. A D-. Officially designated. Oh, look, Simon. I don't know anything about these things, really. All the computer test result told me was that I was myself and not somebody else. Well, that was good. I didn't even think about being matched with 2957. I thought something quite different.
What?
Just that he might be in love with me.
Right, now we'll fan out from here. Remember the orders. No shooting unless we have to.
Paul, I got separated from the others. I didn't realize.
That's all right. But a group of them this time, and orders not to shoot unless they have to.
Hunters.
Wonder what it's all about.
Oh, this heat is awful. If it doesn't stop soon, Paul, look!
Oh, Beth! Simon!
It's dead, the whole bush. And Paul, a creek!
It's dried up.
What's happened? Why are they dead? I looked after them as good.
I don't know. Look out!
It's dead too. Just bone dry. Just fell off the tree.
Well, of course. That's it. They've finally done it, Simon. 2957 and the technocrats. They've done something to the whole world. They're burning us up.